So, this is the second episode that I'm recording, so I kind of feel like that my voice is a little bit fucked, because the other episode was relatively long with 35 minutes or something. But, through cutting, it's gonna be like 30 minutes or some shit. Anyway, we are gonna talk about the Bhagavad Gita today. I hope I've probably pronounced it in the wrong way, and I'm very sorry for that, because I know that it is a religious book, isn't it? But, it seems to be something that quite a lot of people are enjoying, because I know that, for example, Will Smith also read it, and I don't know, I believe that, there might be something in it for me, for us, that is just interesting to talk about. But yeah, gonna see you after the intro as always. Yeah, and we're just also gonna not go straight into it because it is not there. Why it is not there? Huh? Why are you not there, motherfucker? But there you go. There we go, there you go, everything is fine. I think I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger and also this smaller. Yeah, yes, this is good. I like that. Yes, let's have it like this. I think it is, it might be a little bit too big, but anyway. And also my shortcuts are working. I'm happy about that. Fantastic. Many similar ideas to Stoicism and virtue ethics, though with more mystical elements thrown in. Would highly recommend it as a first taste of Eastern religion. So we will see. And it is a summary, by the way. So, and this per se feels a little bit strange to me, since, I don't know, I'm not going to go through the summary of a Bible as well. Or, you know what I mean? So it's a little bit of a strange thing. But anyway, we will see how it is going. The perennial philosophy. There is an infinite, changeless reality beneath the world of change. Which is the first point. The second point is this same reality lies at the core of every human personality. And the third, the purpose of life is to discover this reality experientially. That is, to realize God while here on earth. Scholars can debate the point forever, but when the Gita is practiced, I think it becomes clear that the struggle the Gita is concerned with is the struggle for self-mastery. Interesting. And I think it is indeed a pretty huge thing. I mean, if you can't master yourself, if you can't master your thoughts per se as well, then you're gonna have a pretty tough time, don't you? So yeah, pretty important thing there, I believe. Dharma. The word Dharma, I hope that I'm pronouncing it correctly, means many things, but its underlying sense is that which supports, from the root dhiri, to support, hold up, or bear. Generally, Dharma implies support from within, the essence of a thing, its virtue, that which makes it what it is. On a larger scale, Dharma means the essential order of things, and integrity and harmony in the universe and the affairs of life that cannot be disturbed without courting chaos. Thus, it means rightness, justice, godness, purpose, rather than chance. There is an ancient Sanskrit epigram, Ahisma Parama Dharma. The highest Dharma is Ahimsa, non-violence, universal law for all living creatures. For every kind of violence is a violation of Dharma, the fundamental law of the unity of life. Which, by the way, because the next one is also going to be karma, and I believe in karma, by the way, in a sense of I do not want to do shit. I just want to be a good person. And I think this is what I'm seeing there as well, like just having love for just, I don't know, for all the things that are there, even for the small creatures, even for those that you think are insignificant and or unimportant and or whatever. So I don't know, I believe that it is something important. I believe that it is something necessary, something to really think about, something to really work on, something that, is indeed an important thing, I would just say. Karma. The law of karma states simply that every event is both a cause and an effect. Every act has consequences of a similar kind, which in return have further consequences, and so on. And every act, every karma is also the consequence of some previous karma. So do good shit, which I think just means if you do good shit, then there's also going to be good shit in your life. That's quite it. The law of karma states unequivocally that though we cannot see the connections, we can be sure that everything that happens to us, good and or bad, originated once in something we did or thought as well. to us, good and bad, originated once in something we did or thought. We ourselves are responsible for what happens to us, whether or not we can understand how. It follows that we can't change what happens to us by changing ourselves. We can't take our destiny into our own hands. And I believe in that in general as well, but I'm not sure about thoughts. Like, I don't know. Because of a simple reason, actually. If I think about something and I decide to not say it because I think it is not right, then I think it is a good thing, isn't it? I know that it is a good act. Because I thought something, but I consciously decided that I'm not gonna say it because I know the consequences of what this is gonna, or what that I'm gonna have to deal with then. So I don't know. I don't know about thoughts there. I really don't. When the senses contact sense objects, a person experiencing cold or heat, pleasure or pain, these experiences are fleeting. They come and go. Bear them patiently, Arjuna. Those who are not affected by these changes, who are the same in pleasure and pain, are truly wise and fit for immortality. Who are the same in pleasure? Bear them patiently. Those who are not affected by these changes, yes, indeed. I don't know, there's always going to be pain in life. But the problem is, I think that if you really care about let's put it like this. If you really care about the good things, then you're probably also going to really care about pain then. So I think it is an inevitable thing. So yes, indeed, not really quote unquote caring, even though I don't really want to say that, about both of these things, both the good and the bad, to just both extremes, I think is pretty important and pretty necessary and pretty I think universally a good idea to do, quite. So I really have to say so. I really think so. Sankhya describes thoughts as packets of potential energy which grow more and more solid when favorable conditions are present and obstacles are removed. They become desires, then habits, and then ways of living with physical consequences. Those consequences may look no more like thoughts than an oak tree looks like an acorn, but the Gita says that they are just as intimately related. Just as a seed can grow into one only kind of tree, thoughts can produce effects only of the same nature. Kindness to others, to take just one example, favors a nervous system that is kind to itself. Which, what the fuck? I'm sorry for swearing, by the way, just because it is a special book and I shouldn't be doing this. The thing is, the whole point, and I think the last sentence is just indeed summarizing the whole paragraph there, kindness to others. And I just really want to repeat it once again because I think it is important. Kindness to others, to take just one example, favors a nervous system that is kind to itself, which in the end means that if you're kind to other people, then you're also going to be kind to yourself. And it is something that Gary Vee was talking about. And I always thought I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure if this is really the case. I'm not quite sure if this is just indeed how things work. That if I'm kind to other people, that I'm also going to be kind to myself. And as he's also putting it, he is, it's not forgiving, but you could also just talk about forgiving there. So forgiving other people and therefore forgiving yourself as well. But judging other people, right? Not judging other people, which leads to not judging yourself. And this is an eye-opening thing. And just because of this one, I think it's just good that I went through it. Whatever is going to come after this one, it's just, I'm just happy with it. It's just enough of an investment of time, basically. Really important thing, really interesting thing. And just to see it said by something else or by someone else is cool. Reshape yourself through the power of your will. Never let yourself be degraded by self-will. The will is the only friend of the self, and the will is the only enemy of the self. So be happy with yourself and have a life that you enjoy. Those who are compulsively attached to the results of an action cannot really enjoy what they do. They get downcast when things do not work out and clinch more desperately when they do. So the Gita classifies the karma of attachment as pleasant at first, but bitter as poison in the end, because of the painful bondage of conditioning. And yes, indeed, if you really focus on what is going to happen, then you're not going to really think about your craft. You're not going to think about the process. You're not going to think about the thing that you're actually doing that is then in the end going to lead to whatever you want to have, whatever it might be, indeed. But pretty interesting, and pretty something I like so much about a lot of philosophical works or religious works, if you will, is that You can, I mean, they're also made for that, but you can apply them to just such a lot of things also in the now. Like, of course, some texts might be pretty old and might be just pretty old fashioned in the way they speak and the way the story is, the characters of the story and the whole plot of the story and all these things. It might be pretty old, but you can still translate them relatively well into just nowadays life, which is a good thing. But of course, I mean, if you're searching for parallels, if you're searching for ways to do so, you're probably also going to find them. So, which is kind of the other side, I would say. You have the right to work, but never to the fruit of work. You should never engage in action for the sake of reward, nor should you long for inaction. Perform work in this world, Arjuna, as a man established within himself, without selfish attachments and alike in success and defeat, for yoga is perfect evenness of mind. The disunited mind is far from wise. How can it meditate? How be at peace? When you know no peace, how can you know joy? This is also a pretty interesting thing, but I don't see like the connection there. The wise, every satisfied, have abandoned all external supports. Their security is unaffected by the results of their action. Even while acting, they really do nothing at all. Sounds a little bit strange, but I really like the first one, like, they don't need external support. And if you don't need external support, you're going to be always happy because there's nobody you have to care about. There's nobody for the sake of yourself, for the sake of your own health and safety and whatnot. But you should definitely care about other people. When meditation is mastered, the mind is unwavering like the flame of a lamp and a will windless place. In the still mind, in the depths of meditation, the self reveals itself. Beholding the self by means of the self, an aspirant knows the joy and peace of complete fulfillment, having attained that abiding joy beyond the senses revealed in the stilled mind. He never swears from the external truth. He desires nothing else and cannot be shaken by the heaviest burden of sorrow. Better indeed is knowledge than mechanical practice. Better than knowledge is meditation. But there still is surrender of attachment to results because there follows immediate peace. Surrender of attachment to results. I think it is a common theme, isn't it? And a just ongoing theme that, you should really not care about just results in general. Pleasure from the senses seems like nectar at first, but it is as bitter as poison in the end. This is the kind of happiness that comes to Rajasic. It is better to perform one's own duties imperfectly than to master the duties of another. By fulfilling the obligations he is born with, a person never comes to grief. By fulfilling the obligations he is born with. The things that you should be doing because you're born with them. I think about talents there. Just because you're born with talents and certain... or are you? I'm just sometimes quite unsure about that. But I think it's a really cool work and I would like to just have a little bit more of it. Even though, as I said, I do have to be conscious about the fact that it is a religious piece of work. And yeah, I know that religion is definitely something that I shouldn't really cover and shouldn't really talk about because there's too many opinions and too many strong opinions. And whatever I'm saying, I'm probably going to say something wrong. So I hope that I've not bothered anyone with this one. I think it is a really cool work. I think there's a lot of things that I could incorporate and we all should think about in our life, essentially as well. So yes, I think it is pretty cool. I think it is important, and just the things that we went through, like really not caring about the results, because indeed, like the first thing that I had to think about was YouTube. If you only focus on the results, if you only focus on what you're gonna get out of the time that you invest in there, you're probably not gonna do it for long, because like it of course depends on what you're doing. It depends on how good you are. It depends on just various different things, but the chance that you're going to be pretty huge in a relatively small amount of time is near to zero, because it just takes some time. And I think it also should take some time, because it would indeed be quite boring if everything was pretty easy. And something that I often think about, something that I often talk about as well, like, I don't know, like there just has to be some sort of a challenge. There has to be some sort of a willingness to do something, or some sort of a, I don't know, some sort of a way. Nothing should be too easy. Like, it would just indeed be fucking boring. And yeah, really indeed, really boring. But I like it. something that I do also want to talk about because I think that it might be necessary, and because I thought like, well, and because I think often seeing that as well. I know like it is ongoing and stuff. So what I've gotten an email, let's put it like this. I've gotten an email and it is basically about a blog and someone that is blogging. I like getting emails, by the way. I just really appreciate that because, it's always something new, whether it is actually some advertisements or some shit that I'm getting, or some like, okay, here is my stuff, please check it out, which is indeed the case with the email that I was talking about before. So I was getting this email. Maybe I should actually sit some kind of differently like this. I've got this email and I thought like, well, pretty interesting. I've opened it and then, it's been about a blogger, female blogger. And she was like, I'm doing this blog and it is pretty good for just not being boring in these times and stuff and bleep, blah, bloop. And I thought, well, yeah, cool. But, you're just sending me an email. I know that you're there. Maybe I'm actually also going to check it out. Sometimes it's good work. Relatively often it is not, unfortunately. Also with some brands, quote unquote, that just text you and are like, we are doing this and that when we're having X amount of followers, and they always tell you that. We're having X amount of followers on Instagram. Would you like to just be part of it? Would you like to buy followers? Would you like to just get some work done by us and stuff like that? So these are normally the emails that I'm getting, and the problem is that they are most often focused on what they do. And not how I can benefit from that. Like, of course, yes, I can benefit from followers, but especially concerning like the email that I've gotten today, or yesterday, could also be the case. I'm quite unsure. Okay, you're doing the blog, but why should I care? So there's no reason why I should check it out. Like, and you can clearly see that it is something selfish. You can clearly see that it is just people willing to talk about their shit. And I understand that. Like, I don't know. I would also just talk about my shit. But I don't know. Even though, like, I think she said also, like, okay, as I said, it is good for just doing something, because we all have so much time and shit and whatnot. So there is some sort of a reason to do that. But yeah, especially often, and this is something that I'm seeing all the time, and it's like, why should I even care about the email at this point? When you're just having it automated in some way that everyone can see that it is automated, that my name, first of all, is everything written together, or Walch Christopher or some shit, completely just written together as my Instagram handle is. And then you just clearly know, okay, they have just taken my fucking Instagram handle and they've used the fucking email they've used for all the other 5 billion people they have sent this email to. So why should I even care from this point on? First of all. Second of all, selfish being with your content and the stuff that you just write about. I actually want to see it. I'm not going to read it because I don't care about that. Well, I could actually look. No, I can't. Mail. Maybe I should sit up. Because I do not want to just talk shit there. I really, really, really do not want to do that. But let's see. Maybe I've even got another email. I don't really get that many emails, which I think at this point in time, I'm like, why? But in the end, I should really be happy, I think, about that. Quite. The thing is, do I really get... Oh, I see. Do I really get this email there? I don't know. I really don't know. I think I don't get this email there, which is something that's quite interesting though. But yeah, anyway, I think the main just thing that I want to talk about is like, and now everything is breaking down, and when everything is open there and stuff. My main point is that if you want someone to check it out, then there has to be a reason for them to check it out. Of course, you're having a reason, like you think your stuff is good. We all think that our stuff is good. Most often it is not then. But yeah, think about it. Just why should I check out your stuff? Why? And why should I check out your stuff? Like, if you say, okay, you can just waste your time there and stuff. Yes, I can waste my time on Instagram as well, per se. And I'm used to it. And I know Instagram. And I know what stuff I'm going to find there. So why should I? And also, like, which leads to making something for everyone. Like, I don't know. The podcast is definitely not for everyone. And I also thought about it more often. And then I've also decided, like, no, it's not going to be for everyone. It's going to be for some people. Some people like it. Some people won't like it. A lot of people actually won't like it. But going for the smallest viable audience, going for those really, really small amount of people that will really enjoy what you're making is the key, because they are going to enjoy it and they are going to spread it. It is not like that you're always going to stay there, but it is the best way to grow your stuff, to really focus at first on just these people, and then the community is going to grow eventually. If it is a good product, if it is something good, I don't know. Yeah. But I think I might also kind of be the wrong person to talk about that, since I think you can see the results, and I think things are doing pretty well at this point in time, and I'm pretty happy about that. I'm seeing the analytics, everything is quite well. Things change, to the good, sometimes to the bad, whatnot. But still, I may at this point in time not be the right person to listen to, I think. But yeah, the question of today is, could you do something, could you make something, could you build something to really help somebody else? Whether it is something that's insignificant in size or in work hours, or something pretty big. But yeah, with that being said, I wish you the best health, of happiness, and also success, and also hope that you're going to remind yourself and you're going to be remembered, which basically means your legacy basically means just being a nice person, then being remembered as a nice person, which, is always a good thing, I guess. And 3 other questions that I have for you are, why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions hopefully going to show you your purpose, and maybe indeed a business idea, which is always a good thing. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, and I'm hopefully going to see you the next time. So bye. Stay healthy. I hope you're healthy, and keep an eye on that, and also on your family and your loved ones, that they're not doing some dumb shit. But yeah, I'm going to see you.